get this straight, Magdalena. You're telling me that grown women, successful, intelligent women, mind you, are like walking around with what essentially looks like a furry gremlin hanging from their Hermes bags?
They're called Labubus, James. And yes, before you ask, I have 3 of them.
What? 3? Magdalena, you're an educated woman. Like, you advise and coach people on mindset and style for a living.
Which is exactly why I understand what you clearly don't. You know, this isn't just about fashion, it's about cultural moments. When Rihanna carries something, when Lisa from Blackpink, makes it her signature, that's not accident. That's influence.
Nah. But it's a plush toy with teeth. Lots of teeth.
9 teeth, actually. And those teeth tell a story you're completely missing.
Fine. Enlighten me. But if you're about to tell me this is the future of luxury accessories, I might need a drink.
Pour yourself a glass, darling. We're going deep on this one. Let's start with what you think you're seeing. What do you see when you look at a Labubu?
Honestly, I see regression. I see adults clinging to childhood because they can't handle being grown-ups. It's like emotional immaturity as a fashion statement.
Interesting. And what did you think when you heard David Beckham was carrying one?
Well, that was different. His daughter gave it to him, didn't she? That's sweet, actually. Father-daughter bonding.
Ah, so when a man does it for family reasons, it's sweet. When women do it for themselves, it's regression.
And that's not... Okay, fair point. But still, there's something about the aesthetic that just screams infantile to me.
Let me tell you about the man who created Labubu. His name is Kasing Lung. Born in Hong Kong in 1972, moved to the Netherlands when he was 7 years old.
Go on.
Picture this. A 7-year-old Chinese boy, can't speak Dutch, sitting alone in his room above his parents' restaurant. No computers, no game consoles, just him, some pencils, and Nordic fairy tale books his teacher gave him to learn the language.
That's quite poignant, actually.
He created Labubu as emotional therapy before he even knew what therapy was, you know? He once said, "Some things I wanted to do but didn't dare to do, I let Labubu do." This isn't just commercial fluff, James. This is an artist processing childhood trauma through mythological creatures.
Huh. So we're talking about legitimate art with psychological depth.
Exactly. And before you dismiss it as just toys, his original illustrations now sell for over $100,000 at auction. Christie's, Phillips, serious art houses are taking notice, you know?
Wait. Investment potential? Seriously?
Oh, now I have your attention, don't I? A life-size Labubu just sold for $170,000 at auction in Beijing. And the first dedicated Labubu auction, it drew nearly 1,000 bidders and generated over $500,000 in sales.
That's actually impressive. What kind of returns are we, talking about here?
The rare secret editions, there's a 1 in 72 chance of getting one in a blind box, they can resell for 10 times their original price. Some limited editions hit 4 figures on StockX.
Okay, so you're telling me this furry little monster is essentially a luxury commodity with, emotional resonance and artistic provenance?
Now you're getting it, James. You're finally getting it. But let's talk about why this matters beyond just the investment potential. You know, what do you think drives people to collect these things?
Well, if I'm being honest, scarcity marketing? The blind box concept is basically gambling psychology, isn't it?
Partly, yeah, totally. But you're missing the emotional component. Tell me, James, do you remember having a comfort object as a kid? Like a stuffed animal or something?
I had a stuffed elephant, Mr. Peanuts.
And what happened to Mr. Peanuts when you, grew up?
I suppose I put him away because that's what you do when you become an adult.
Exactly. Society totally tells us to abandon these sources of comfort because they're like childish or whatever. But what if we shouldn't have to, you know? What if emotional honesty is actually more mature than like emotional suppression?
You're suggesting Labubu is therapeutic, then?
I'm suggesting Labubu gives adults permission to acknowledge their emotional needs. In psychology, we call these like transitional objects, items that provide comfort and security during times of stress or change. It's pretty powerful, actually.
But why something so deliberately imperfect? It's not even traditionally cute, you know?
That's exactly the point, James. Traditional cute is safe, it's sanitized, it's unthreatening. Labubu is different. It's ugly cute, as they say. It has flaws, rough edges, a slightly mischievous expression. It's not asking you to be perfect.
So it's like permission to be imperfect yourself.
Beautifully put, James. When a woman carries Labubu, she's saying, I can be strong and vulnerable, professional and playful, polished and like a little bit wild. It's emotional complexity made visible, you know?
But why now? Why this particular moment, do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. Think about what we've all been through, right? Pandemic isolation, economic uncertainty, social media pressure to be like constantly on and perfect. We're living in an era of like emotional exhaustion. Labubu offers a tiny rebellion against that pressure to be perpetually composed.
It's interesting you say rebellion. I've noticed some men seem particularly annoyed by the trend, actually.
Oh, that's fascinating, isn't it? I think it threatens a certain type of masculine worldview because it can't be easily categorized. Is she being cute, sexy, ironic, independent? It doesn't fit into traditional female archetypes, so some men find it unsettling.
Whereas for women?
For women, it's liberating, you know? It says, I don't exist for your interpretation. I exist for my own emotional truth. It's a statement, for sure.
All right, Magdalena, like Continental Code moments. Where do we land on this? Is carrying a Labubu like elegant?
That's the wrong question, James. The right question is, when is emotional authenticity more important than conventional elegance?
Meaning?
Meaning, a Labubu doesn't like belong at a state dinner or a board meeting, obviously, but at a weekend market, on a casual day out, clipped to a gym bag, that's not inelegant. That's like contextually appropriate self-expression. You know, it fits.
So it's about knowing when and where to use it then, like the context.
Exactly. True continental style isn't about like rigid rules, it's about intelligent choices. Grace Kelly wore jeans, you know? Coco Chanel revolutionized comfort and fashion. Sometimes breaking conventions gracefully is like the most elegant thing you can do, honestly.
And the investment angle, I guess, kind of legitimizes it for people who need that kind of like rational justification, right?
If that's what it takes for someone to give themselves permission to buy something that brings them joy, I'll totally take it. Like, whatever works.
You know what? I might actually understand the appeal now, though I'm not ready to clip one to my briefcase just yet.
Give it time. Though I do think you'd like suit a Zimomo. That's the male character with the tail. I think it'd look good on you.
Oh, wait. There are male versions? Oh, my goodness.
James, we've only scratched the surface.
So, listeners, our Continental Code verdict on Labubus for Grownups.
Legit, totally. When worn with self-awareness and like contextual intelligence. You know, it just makes sense.
Not cringe, definitely, when you understand you're participating in a cultural moment with genuine artistic and emotional depth. I kind of get it now.
But perhaps most importantly, sometimes the most elegant thing you can do is give yourself permission to feel joy, even if it comes in an unconventional package. Just embrace it.
Well said, Magdalena. Though I still think I'll stick to my vintage watch collection for now, just to be safe.
And I'll stick to my 3 Labubus, obviously. But do not worry, I will not buy them their own car seats.
Until next time, stay elegant, stay curious, and remember,
And
style is knowing yourself well enough to choose wisely.